I've worked with over dozens of ecom brands within the past few years, helping them scale from 10K months to over 100K months consistently. Brands like Bodyworks, who I helped scale from 27K a month to past 118K a month with a 4.4x return on ad spend. And after analyzing my clients as well as hundreds of other brands, I can tell you straight up that the thing that's going to help you scale past 100K months is not some magical Facebook ad hack that's just going to 10x your revenue overnight. So in this video, I'm going to break down the exact patterns that I discovered, the strategies that worked, the mistakes that killed growth, and the systems that took stores from 10K months past 100K months. So let's dive right into it. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about is your creatives, okay? So the thing that I see a lot of brands, or the mistake that I see a lot of brands make, is not testing enough, okay? We can see here, Grunts, they have over 550 different ads, okay? And if we go to Comfort, which is a popular clothing brand, they have over 820 ads, all right? So they never stop testing. All right. So it's important that we understand you're never going to stop testing. Even if you find a winning ad, it will run for a long time, but you'll eventually have to find a new winning ad. Okay. So understand that we really need to be focusing on creatives and building a system every week where we could test new creatives each and every week. Okay. Here's one of the brands that I work with called Bodyworks, and we could see they have so much content. All right, so much content. So this allows us to scale because the more you increase the budget, the more creatives you need to test. So they always have multiple creatives. Each and every week, they give me at least 5 to 10 different creatives to test, and we always find a winning ad. Okay. So the biggest thing that you'll face is fatigue, especially if you're scaling and you're spending a lot of money on ads. So if you are facing fatigue, that just means you're not testing enough creatives each and every week. Okay, so your next question might be, what should I be testing? And as you can see, Comfort has a lot of UGC content. What's UGC? It's user-generated content that customers create for you, either talking about the product, giving a testimonial, showing how they wear it, or showing how they use the product. All right. So the biggest thing on creating different ad concepts is actually looking at your competitors. All right. I have this meta ads library open and I use it all the time to actually see what my competitors are actually creating. All right. It will give you so many ideas. Obviously, you don't want to just directly copy and paste, but you'll get a lot of inspiration on what's already working and how you can actually, utilize that to create that for your own brand. All right, if we take a look at Grunts, same sort of thing. They have a lot of people just using the product and talking about how it has helped them. All right, so the biggest thing is social proof. All right, people need to know and trust this product and feel like it's actually going to transform their lives. All right, so you need to figure out how to show that through the content that you create. All right, so if you've seen the previous video that I posted, I went through how to create ad concepts. Now, this is just a shortened version because I have another process that's a lot more advanced that I will talk about in the future video. But for this, all we're focusing on is one concept. What's our creative hook? What desire is it associated with? What type of creative is it? And what's our hypothesis? All right. So basically, this was for the Bodyworks brand. So, for example, this first concept, creative hook is POV, seeing yourself in the mirror, and mid workout, loving what you see. Desire belongs to confidence. Our creative type is a UGC video with a mirror shot. And then our hypothesis in this part is very important to have a hypothesis of why you think that video will perform well. It taps into emotional aspect of what women want when working out, confidence, and to love what they see in the mirror. All right. And then after you test that actual concept, you're going to go to the results and you're going to type in, was this a winning ad or was it not? And if it's not, what can you do to improve upon it? All right. Second concept, our creative hook, sweat proof, squat proof, never see through. All right. This is for the desire of comfort. And then this would just be a UGC static image ad. And these are common problems, objections that women have with leggings. All right. So we're just handling those objections. And then the last one, these leggings shape your body before you even hit a squat. This one is for confidence. This would be a UGC video with before and after. And then the hypothesis is women truly want to work out, to look good, and have a sexy body. So we are showing how these leggings can help them achieve that without even working out yet. All right. So this is just a simple process that I go through each and every week, which you should be testing at least 4 to 5 different creatives each and every week, and just coming up with different ad concepts, different hypotheses of why you think this will work, and then just testing it out. All right. So next, I want to talk about email and SMS marketing. This is a crucial part of your business because brands that actually care about growth don't just focus on one-time buyers from ads or organic traffic, right? They want to focus on actually having these customers come back and purchase from them again and again and again. All right, so how do we do that? We nurture them and we continue to follow up and send them emails and SMS. All right. So one of the brands I was working with was only focused on SMS. They weren't running any emails. So if we go to Klaviyo, we could see December 1st through December 31st, no campaigns went out, right? No campaigns at all. And then if we take a look at that next month when we actually implemented some email campaigns, click apply, we can see that they made a lot more money from their campaigns than the previous month, right? So this just shows you it's important to have both. Don't just focus on SMS or don't just focus on email. Definitely focus on having both, right? And then if we go to their full review, we can see they did around 11K attributed revenue in the month of January. So this is goes to show how important it is to actually use both email and SMS because they're both very important. Obviously, they made a lot with SMS as well, but don't just think you only need one. All right, you definitely want to have both because emails will allow you to nurture your audience a lot more because you're able to send out more content, and SMS is more like just urgent sales that come up and things like that. So I want to just talk about some of the important flows that you should have, and that's going to be the welcome flow. That's going to be the thank you post purchase flow, the brand abandonment flow, the win back flow, the checkout and cart abandonment flow. All right, those are going to be some of the most important ones. And then obviously you can have like your sunset flow, bounce back flow, and things like that. So let's just go to welcome flow. What is your welcome flow? It's basically just a series of emails that goes out as soon as someone opts in for your emails using a sign up form. All right. So make sure you have a pop up on your site. If you don't, I recommend you get it implemented ASAP. And then you could just offer them some sort of incentive like 15% off, free stickers, free bracelet, whatever it is that is relevant to your specific brand. Just give them a nice incentive to actually give you their email and their phone number. All right, so what are the emails? Usually, email one will just be thanking them for actually signing up and giving them their discount code or whatever the incentive is. Email two, you always want this to be the founder story, just talking about why you created the brand, what the mission is for the brand, what's your values, and things like that. Email three is just going to be kind of talking about your best sellers. Email four is just more valuable content that's related to the brand, and then just reminding people to use the code. Then you could even do an email 5, 6, 7, 8 through 10. The more emails you send, honestly, in my opinion, the better. And you could just give them a lot of value, right? Just give them value. So if you have a mental health brand, you can give them value on tips on how to improve their mental health and just things like that, which builds community. All right, so then we have abandoned checkout flow. This is going to go out when someone actually adds the products to their cart and they click initiate checkout, but they don't purchase anything. You also need your abandoned cart flow. All right, understand that these two flows are going to be different. They can say mostly the same thing, but one goes out when someone adds the cart and the other one goes out when someone actually initiates checkout. All right, so all you're doing with these is just answering any FAQs, handling any objections, maybe giving them a discount code and creating some urgency and things like that. By the way, if you just want me to do all this for you, where we create 10 plus UGC ads for you each and every month, and we run and manage your Facebook ads, go ahead and click the link below in the description and book a call to see if we're the right fit. Now let's get back into the video. Next is going to be post-purchase flow. So this is after someone has actually purchased a product. Obviously, you want a thank you message from the founder. That should be the absolute first email. And then after that, you could just give them value. And then obviously you want to upsell them and cross-sell them to get them to actually purchase again. Then you got browse abandonment. So this is when someone views a product. They don't necessarily have to add to the cart or checkout, but they just view the product. So this will be triggered once they view the product. This could just be a simple nudge, asking them to check out the product, maybe giving them some FAQs, handling any objections as well. Then win back flow, this is a series of emails that go out when one of our customers didn't buy a product for 6 months straight. So this is to get them back re-engaged, reminding them that it's been a while, showing them some of your best-selling products, maybe giving them a discount like we've missed you, here's 15% off. All right. And then those are going to be the most important flows. So make sure you do have these set up. All right. Next is going to be conversion rate optimization. All right. So you need to make sure the landing page that you're sending people to, whether that's from ads or organic traffic, that you are optimizing your website so you can have the best conversion rate possible. All right. We want to convert as many people that come to the site as possible. So here's an e-commerce checklist that I actually got from Chase Chapel, and I thought it was a pretty good checklist. So we'll just go through this real quick. But one of my favorite, absolute favorite websites is Rose Skin Co. And they just have one of the best landing pages I've ever seen. So I like to look at them for inspiration. They have the social proof here, right? They have the price marked down saying you get 15% off. They actually name the product, right? It's not just called permanent hair removal device, but they named it Lumi, which gives it a more branded feel. Add to cart is super high up above the fold. Go down, free shipping globally, try it risk-free for 90 days. So they have risk reversal. They tell you a little bit about the product, answering some common questions like what is it, where can I use it, when will my hair be gone, and then hair free guaranteed. They have more social proof right here, which creates authority because they've been in some very popular magazines and articles. They also have, the different benefits. So less hair growth after one use, get smooth and stay smooth, eliminate ingrown hairs, skip the salon, all those different benefits there. Answering the more common questions right here. How long will it take till my hairs are gone? So just telling you it's 2 to 4 weeks, what you can expect, and then what you can expect 5 to 8 weeks, and then 8 to 12 plus weeks. And then they compare it to these other methods of getting rid of hair, which, they compare it to shaving, waxing, clinical laser. All right. So this is really good because people can be like, okay, well, why don't I just, shave instead of using this? But this shows why this is way better over shaving, why this is way better over waxing, why this is way better over clinical laser. All right. And then they have get to know Lumi. So they also have, videos showing how to use it down here as well. So very, very nice website. Has the Q&A, have the testimonials, have the social proof, right? They're telling you everything you need to know about the product, showing how easy it is to use. So I just think this is an overall really good, high converting website. So going back to the list, some of the most important things that you should have is your special offer banner. Keep everything simple. So have a simple menu. Make sure your logo is there. Make sure you have, geolocation. So if people are coming from different countries, that it automatically changes to their currency and things like that. Product focus, homepage banner, website reviews, credibility, bestsellers, right? Like all these things you should make sure you have. And, just take a screenshot if you want to check this out. Email pop-up is obviously very, very important. Different tabs for your description showing sizing, shipping, any ingredients that's being used, the features, model info. You want to have some cross sales, upsells, so you can increase your average order value. You want to have the slide cart. All right. So when people add to cart, don't take them to another page. Just have the slide out menu. You want to have your FAQs, consistent branding throughout the whole website, tutorial video if it's a really complicated product. You want to also have bundles available to increase your average order value. Make sure you have your collections, afterpay, payment plan options, high quality images. All right, these are things that if you implement today, I promise you your conversion rate will increase dramatically. All right. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the ad structure. All right, so one thing that I see a lot of brands make is having so many different campaigns running at the same time. All right, so I want you guys to simplify your campaigns into one CBO. All right, so similar to this campaign right here, we have our CBO. This was ran for New Year specifically. Got 425 purchases. We spent around 10K on this one and made back $40,000 with the 4.06 return on ad spend. All right. So this makes it super easy when you're testing different creatives. So you can see here we tested a lot of different creatives within here. Not all did, really good, but we turned off the ones that weren't giving us the best cost per acquisition, and we just kept the ones that were just running here. So we could see here, this one had a cost per acquisition of $9.81. This one had a cost per acquisition of $25.71. All right, the ones that were a little too high at $55, $35, we turned those off. This one, it was okay. I think maybe some of those purchases came in a little later, but regardless, this is how we create that systematic creative testing each and every week. So the cool thing about the CBO is that Facebook is going to see which actual creative is performing the best and spend more money on the creatives that are performing the best. All right. So each week you're able to add additional assets to test different ad concepts, which we went through earlier on how to create those ad concepts. And we're able to just continue to iterate on our testing, right? And then just see which one is doing well, which ones aren't, and, just turn off and increase the budget on the ones that are doing pretty good. So I'll show you some of the different concepts. So this was the one that was doing really good. Let's go here. All right. Let's hit preview. All right. So this was new arrivals just dropped. So you can see it's just like a new arrivals, new year, new arrivals video, just kind of showing off the product just in a stylish way. And then let's look at the other one that did pretty good. 103. Okay, so these are just workout videos. So people actually just literally working out in the product. So you can see here, just working out. Here's another video of someone working out. And then we have one more right here, right? So these are showing the product in use. All right, so these did pretty good as well. And just to show you guys another concept that, didn't do too good. Let's see. See this one right here. So this is just like a banner. So New Year's restock banner. It did okay, but still not as optimal. Had a $35 cost per purchase. All right. So you want to really just keep on the one that is giving you the best cost per purchase. All right. The important thing is understanding what metrics you should be looking at. So I know a lot of people talk about, cost per click, your CTR, your CPM. These are kind of important to look at, but not as important as your cost per acquisition. All right. So if I have a pretty high CPC, but I have a low cost per acquisition, then I don't really care too much. All right. So you can see here, this one gave us the lowest cost per click at $1.02, but this one gave us the lowest cost per acquisition. All right. So that's something that you just have to understand when you are looking at these metrics. is like, okay, yes, CPC is important. It tells you a story of how people see your ad as they're, scrolling. Are they clicking on it? Are you getting people to the site at the lowest cost per click as possible? But ultimately, focusing on the cost per acquisition is way more important. All right. So just understand that as well. And then I'm going to show you guys how to actually calculate that so you understand your threshold that you should be trying to aim for. All right. So this sheet right here, this is one of my favorite sheets. This calculates my cost per acquisition. And really, if I'm looking in the ads manager, you could just look at your cost per purchase. But yeah, for the most part, it's your cost per acquisition. And basically, what you want to do is just what your average order value was in the last 3 months. Or let's say my average order value was $95. And then you want to put in what's your average cost of goods. All right. And this includes shipping too. So whatever you have to pay for shipping plus your cost of goods, you want to put that here. So for this brand, so around $27. And then, yeah, you want to just put what your profit target is. So you could put 20%, you could put 30%. As you start to scale, you definitely want to start increasing your profit target. So ours is 30%. So you could look here in this column. It has your break even KPIs. So no profit, no loss. This would be what you're aiming for. So that's $68 cost per acquisition, 1.40 return on ad spend. I'm more so looking at this cost per acquisition rather than the return on ad spend. So this would be what you're aiming to get. All right. And then to hit this profit target of 30%, this is what you would be aiming for. So if you could see in our ads manager, our cost per acquisition for one of the ad sets was like $9. And the other one was like $25. So those are way below this cost per acquisition. So that's why we had kept those running. So that's all you want to look at. You want to just look at, okay, what is my target cost per acquisition, which is $39.50? And what is the cost per acquisition that I'm actually getting? And is it lower than this? If it is, cool. We can start to scale, increase the budget by 20%. If it's not, then obviously we want to turn off the ones that's not meeting this cost per acquisition target. And we want to start testing some more creatives until we get this target. All right, so that's pretty much how we do it. Make sure you understand your numbers, super, super important. So that's everything I have on scaling e-commerce brands based on studying thousands of businesses. There's a lot here, but if you just implement one of these strategies, I promise you're going to see a lot of success. So thanks for watching. I hope you got some value from this video. Now, if you want to go even deeper on exactly how I scale brands from 0 to 100K months, I made a full free course breaking down everything in detail. So click the video on the screen to check out my complete e-commerce scaling guide. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.